guys, today it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. So this week's topic are your ideal mashups. So this means, when a book has like this tagline of for fans of Shadow Me and Red Queen, something like that. And I really try to think of what would 100% absolutely make me want to read a book. I didn't really think about, or I didn't try to think too much about would these two books actually make a good combination, but I really try to think of two books that if I would see a book described like these two books, that would make me 100% pick them up. This is not so much about I want a mix of these two books, but more so a book that is for fans of these books would make me want to read it 100%. I hope that makes sense. But I actually thought of a couple of mixes of two books that I really want through this topic. So eventually I'm probably going to do a video on that as well. So I didn't rank these, but the first one I want to mention, which probably would be my number one, is for fans of Shades of Magic and the Greysealing Realm trilogy. If you don't know, these two are my favorite trilogies in the whole wide world, combined with the Hunger Games. So if someone were to say this is something that you would enjoy if you like these two trilogies, that's perfect. Obviously you cannot completely ignore if two things would fit together. And I do think that, especially looking at Bitter Blue, seeing a kind of world and a series like Shades of Magic, more from the perspective of a character like Bitter Blue, I think would be very interesting. Now, I'm not gonna go into detail as to how I would think this book would be, but that's kind of what went through my head, like a combination mostly of Bitter Blue and Shades of Magic. Then I have one that is I need it for fans of Pirates of the Caribbean and Six of Crows. So it did say that it can be any kind of entertainment-based thing, media-based thing. So something that is for fans of Six of Crows and Pirates of the Caribbean is my wildest dreams come true. Pirates of the Caribbean is my absolute favorite movie franchise. I feel like this is another one where this one does not take you a lot of imagination to imagine it working perfectly. I love both. I think it would fit together and I want it to happen. Then I have for fans of Ink Mistress and Strange the Dreamer, because these are two YA fantasy books that I absolutely love, that I think have amazing world building, amazing writing, amazing characters. Everything about it is amazing, and I feel like if this is a book that kind of combines these two books, it'd be the absolute perfect book. Honestly, I feel like this is almost a mashup that shouldn't exist because it would probably destroy everything because it's just too perfect. Another mashup that includes a book or a series and some kind of different entertainment is for fans of The Wolf Among Us and the Mortal Instruments. So The Wolf Among Us is a Telltale video game that I absolutely love. It's about fairy tale characters in our world, and a lot of them are super fucked up. And it's in this urban setting, it's very violent. It's basically a dark version of Once Upon a Time, a little bit. Drugs and alcohol and violence and affairs and all these kinds of things, murder. So there's everything in there. And I feel like if there was a book series that would kind of be focused on that kind of storyline in a similar vein as to the Mortal Instruments, I think that would be a really, really cool concept. I just want it to be dark. I want it to not be scared to go there. So I feel like that would be a really great mashup. Once again, not something I put too much thought in, just something that I know if I would read it, I would be holy shit, I need to put that on my TBR. And finally, I have to mention Six of Crows again, but I think another one that would absolutely make me want to put this book on my TBR immediately is for fans of Six of Crows and the Hunger Games. And I think this is actually the number one mashup where I really don't have any idea what that book would look like, what that world would look like, what the storyline would look like, what the characters would look like even, because I feel like all of the characters in Six of Crows and Hunger Games are so very different. But I know for a fact that if a book had that as a kind of tagline, then I would not think for a second if I was interested in reading it. I would put it on my TBR immediately. So this is really, I think, the one that kind of perfectly portrays the topic more than any of the other ones, because I really didn't think about would that even make sense. I just knew that like even if it doesn't make sense, I just want it. And if I would read it, like that tagline, I would be like, I'm in. So these were my top 5 ideal mashups. Obviously, there's so many more, and like basically whenever you combine 2 of my favorites, I would probably want to read it. Like honestly, I think you could almost combine everything with Pirates of the Caribbean, and I would immediately be like, I want to read that. But I thought these were kind of a little bit different, a little bit fun, and obviously now I want to know your ideal mashups. As I said, don't think too much about if it would actually make sense or how that book would actually kind of look like, but more think about if you would read this as a tagline, then you would 100% want to read that book without even reading the rest of the synopsis. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!